All right.
Mhm.
Well, welcome, Lisa and Kris, to this conversation. This is just our conversation about our experience, our journey together for 1 year and a half at apprenticeship program, Ascension of Intimacy Tantra Apprenticeship program. And now you are certified and you launched your business and you're working with clients, doing your events. So I'm excited to have this conversation and share our work with the world and invite people into our field, the community we're building, the field we're building, and the vision we have for our entire planet, because we're such in a pivotal time for entire planet transitioning to a better world, hopefully. And we are, in a way, we are birth doulas of the new world. So I'd like to hear about your experience discovering Tantra, what brought you to Tantra, and going back to those times when we have just met, and sharing your background. What was your experience prior to that? What work you have done? What you wanted to heal in yourselves and your relationships?
Do you want to go first or do you want me to?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Um, it was perfect timing, really. Um,
Mhm.
we were going through a lot at that time, and I would definitely say this was just a gift from the universe. Like the timing, again, like I said, was just unbelievable. We had been doing some other things. We were doing therapy, individual and couples, sweat lodge and somatic releases with other people and some, what is that Diane does? What is that called?
It's just like shamanic work,
Yeah.
so soul retrieval,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. And we just kept looking and just getting our hands on anything that we possibly could that would help us heal because um, we were just determined to get through what we were in. Um, to get back to being in school, um, that experience was wild. Just every step of the way, every new step that we had, like she has mentioned, was not just a book or anything that we were reading. It was we were actually going through the process every time a new module came up. And um, for me, it was birth and death.
Mm.
Quite a bit, actually, just back and forth, death to this, birth to that, birth to this. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And um, I feel like the death part is important because going through that is what you need to bridge it to the birth. And this is easily the best thing that we've done for our relationship.
Mm. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys came prepared in terms of like you've got some experience in terms of healing work, some transformational work, understanding healing trauma, right? Done other modalities already. And what was your experience, Lisa?
My experience was very similar to what Chris experienced, I mean, he talked about us doing other healing work prior and just it all started because, we were having problems in our relationship and we wanted this closeness and didn't know really how to get it. And through your program, we were able to not only get the closeness, but like understand like how to maintain that. And within that, we also both got really close to ourselves to where um we don't have a problem in articulating our needs and what we're trying to say and um, our desires, like our truth. Like we just, a lot of people have a hard time articulating that. And through this course, I think that that was for me the one of the most valuable things was learning how to relate to my partner and relate to myself, and then also which brings it full circle and relating to communities out there and other people. And so I do feel like this was, I've often said to Kris, this wasn't just like some certified course that you can take online. This was even more in depth than like a college course. This was a life course. As he mentioned, like every single module that we went through, it was a portal. It was another gateway into ourselves, into our own psyche. And I think that a lot of people don't have that knowledge about Tantra. They just think it's really sexual based, which I'm sure we can get into that later. I do believe that that is a really huge portion of it, along with the consciousness, but they're just both intertwined. And so I feel like this is one of the most beneficial parts is just learning how to relate, learning how to communicate, and just learning how to be with myself, which I was never really given instructions on how to do that before, Like we don't learn that. Our parents didn't teach us that and where we were learning before. Although things were ideas and conceptions were um they were they tried to articulate that, but they just I think maybe not as much experience or whatever the case may be. It didn't hit us the way that this
Mm.
hit us. So,
Oh,
yeah.
there was a thing I wanted to add about that. I think one of the best things that I got out of this was the pause.
Mm,
And I mean, we kind of had a little bit of a process like that anyway, but this just enhanced it. And she mentioned articulation. I think going through the pause really helps with that articulation
mm,
because it's like when you're in the moment, all kinds of words that are completely unrelated to what you're even talking about can come flying out of your mouth, and then yeah, but learning it was, falling on your face here and there because some of these things that we learned, like you can't know this stuff unless you've experienced it.
mhm,
People can sit there and read a book and go, "Oh, I've got it." No.
mhm.
Go through the process.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. Like living, this is the best feedback I ever received, about my work. And this is co-created work because I wouldn't be able to do it without you. It's because of you, all of you were part of it. It happened because you were open to co-create. It's like living these modules, right? Living, like embodying it, like feeling it. What came to my mind, the phrase of Morpheus from Matrix, like one of my favorite movies. So symbolic, right? He was like, there is a difference between knowing your path and walking your path. It's like, yes, when you walk it,
Yeah.
he's like, holy hell, is this what I signed up for? Because what you signed up for is not what you're going to experience. And I'm curious about that, actually. That would be my next question. Like when you signed up for Tantra, right? It's like, what did you sign up for? What did you think you're going to experience versus what happened during the program? And what is the difference between these two paths?
You want to go or you want me to?
Well, I knew sex was going to come up. Um, and I guess we started that way. But what I thought was cool about that was it wasn't just like, you know, it was definitely not what's projected into the subject. Um, people just living loosely, and it's not like that at all. And um, one of the things that I thought was cool was through some of these practices, it actually can tackle some of your own issues that you have with your body. Uh, things that come with age. There's some of these practices in here um, really can kind of break down even the age barrier. And so that was really cool. Um, I'm about to get off track. Um, we're going through the modules right now.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Dad and Grandpa came up. Anyway, I think I need you to go because I'm having a space.
Yeah,
okay.
Lisa.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point, by the way, the age piece, because we think like something changes drastically, right, as we age, especially the 40s, 50s, like going into like older age. But then it's a life force energy and sexual energy, life force energy, and it's about circulation and knowing how to navigate it rather than like expecting this traditional cycles or like a traditional experiences that people have because they don't know how to circulate. Well, people don't know how to circulate the energy when they're 20s and then they go crazy. Later they just come down, but there is another wave, you know. Sometimes like when you get older, there is another wave of that energy that you don't know how to navigate, circulate. And that's what Tantra is about, right? So Lisa, yeah, what's
Yeah.
your insight about that?
Oh, so the question was about what was our perception before getting in. Now I'm on track. One of the things that I knew we were going to run into is more than just the physical part, like how to actually be intimate and discuss things that people have a hard time talking about. Even people married 20, 30, 50 years, and they have all kinds of things they've never addressed. And um, it was really cool for me to discover that uh, the depth that comes with this kind of stuff. It I feel that it's interesting because we have all these like ideas when we're growing up about what our relationships are going to look like. Is it going to look like a storybook, all the happy endings and all that stuff? And it was interesting to realize that, kind of like what we're being taught in society with the pedestals and all that stuff, it was kind of like in ways not realistic. But to turn around and do this work, it's like, actually, it's like that, but it's better. Uh, uh, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because it's like I wouldn't say putting somebody on a pedestal, but to me it just means that you have that person in such high regard that you're not afraid of going somewhere uncomfortable and also repair and uh, bring the intimacy in a little closer. So there you go. There's my
Yeah. Yeah, there is this aspect of like worshiping and like having that ritual of honoring divine feminine, divine masculine in the embodied form in each other, right? And seeing that and celebrating that and staying on that level of consciousness rather than dropping into mundane and kind of lazy and disconnected, habitual relating, right? Because what I've observed working with couples for like basic not just like 12 years with this business but even studying with my first business with the dating agency, what I observed with the couples who spend lots of years together is like this disconnect where it's intimacy feels even more awkward than in the beginning. It's like you would imagine like it's maybe more awkward with somebody you don't know, but actually it's not true. It becomes even more awkward with a person you spend like 20 years and you get so habitual and kind of like exposed into mundane, that you can find that sacred embodiment and sacred manifestation of your truth, of your grace, showing up and not edited, but showing up in that graceful, elevated state while you're just like sharing all the mundane everything every day. So definitely, what I hear you saying, Kris, about that's kind of like bringing that aspect is like, oh, so we can have that experience, right? We can feel that way. We can feel divine. We can feel honored and like thrilled to be together and explore different aspects of ourselves that maybe we haven't even discovered yet, because every time is a new time. There is no repetition. There is no like specific pattern that we repeat, because it's a sweet spot. Like Tantra invites us to explore. It's exploration with no destination, right? So it's continuous discovery, self-discovery and discovery in the relationship. That's how I just kind of mirroring back like what you're saying. Like, yes, this aspects that helps us preserve the vitality of relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that what you would say?
Yep.
Lisa, do you have anything you want to share with?
I didn't know what this was going to look like, to be honest with you. I didn't know. I mean, we had two retreats with you prior, and I really just kind of thought like Tantra was just kind of couple based. But really, it is couple based, but it's like it always starts with yourself. The intimacy always starts with yourself. And so I think that that was one of the things that I wasn't expecting in it was it to start with me. And then another thing I wasn't expecting was the mysticism in it. Like it is so awesome. And I really like to connect in ritual space and I like to just even with myself. And this gave me permission to host more rituals for myself and for, our intimate nights when we want to connect or, just for anything, for birthdays, for, you know, I mean, you name it, we can figure out a ritual for it. So, and make it, I think it's, those are the moments, where we can kind of be creative that we can create rituals or these moments become sacred and really what that is those sacred moments is just inviting yourself to be present in that moment. And so I don't think a lot of people understand how many minutes in the day that they are actually not present. They might think that they are, but they're probably still drifted off somewhere else, and Tantra, this program has really helped me stay present, especially through some of the hardest times in our life. So, yeah, that's what I
Mm,
didn't expect.
I didn't
yeah.
expect a nature-gasm. I was, what the hell is this? Uh, well, it's funny with our practice, part of it is honoring land.
Mhm.
And this was really cool to run into this and go, oh, wow, some of this sounds like stuff that we do with our Norse practice. And so I guess what I would add to that is I feel like Tantra can enhance anything that you're doing.
Mhm.
It's not um, designated to one form of belief. You can
Mm.
apply it to anything that you do.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that is true, because I've heard people like inviting them like to check it out, check out this my work about Tantra, and like some people's like, oh, I'm Christian, I'm not open to that. It's like, well, Tantra is actually not tied to any kind of religious beliefs. It's open to any beliefs, and it creates the foundation and living practice, like mundane practice, like in everyday life, to bring sacredness to every moment, what Lisa mentioning about being present. And that's brings sacredness to mundane moments. You can wash dishes and you feel divine, like
Yeah.
I like that.
yes.
Authenticity.
And the ritual is about being present. It's about recognizing the sacredness of the moment. That this moment will never come back. This moment, this part of this infinite experience, manifestation of divine through the physicality, through the form, physical form and embodiment. And that's what many people don't talk about. It like we talked about it when we were reading the book Tantra Illuminated. It was like really insightful book. If somebody wants to learn more about that Tantra, definitely it's the book, because the rest of the books are mostly Neo Tantra, right? Neo Tantra is more focusing on sexuality, focusing on purely sexual connection or relationship between men and women in more erotic way, which is also beautiful, but it's only like 1% of Tantra, right? Like the author of Tantra Illuminated was saying, like, it's only 1%, the rest 99 scriptures, there are tantric scriptures that he studied. They are about different practices. It's basically connecting spirituality and mundane life, because in Tantra, we're not going to caves, we're not going to monastery. We live our spiritual principles, we embody spirituality in mundane life, everyday life. And we welcome like wealth and entrepreneurship and having family and having messy experiences and being present with all of them and navigating them from the depth of the presence rather than like anxiety about the future, right? Or regrets about the past, right? That's where when Lisa was referring to that, this is where people are not present with their life because they're always thinking about the past or the future, right? We rarely live in the realm of like, what's happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. So, what I would like to hear from you too, because you joined as a couple, as a married couple, and your journey is so profoundly mm, deep and long, and is like lifetime partnership, and it's so powerful. Like my journey is very different. Like I'm a relationship coach, but I had multiple long-term relationship with different partners, right? Who were not just with the same pattern. Like sometimes people attract the same kind of partners, but I actually had the variety of different partners. So my journey in my soul contracts with these people are different, right? And maybe that's important for me to have this experience and knowledge so I can connect with more people and more couples. But for you, you were like really like high school sweethearts and you've been together for a long time and you were married for a long time. So like, and tell us a little bit more about your experience joining the program together and what value it gave you as a couple moving through these modules as living portals and what you've learned about healing partnership and then transitioning to sacred union.
Mm.
Good.
Um, well, wow. I'm really glad that we joined together. I had a friend that tried to, say otherwise, like, oh, maybe you should just save some money and just you take it, and then, you can always just share with Kris and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I don't feel good about that, because it's like then you miss if a partner's doing that, then they're like singled out and they don't get to do the group calls and be included on, some of the extra things that we were able to take advantage of.
Retreats, right?
Yeah, yeah, and the retreats too. I couldn't even imagine not having him there for that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like, but anyways, just so eternally grateful for the program and being able to enter it together because it was really cool to watch like our growth and to experience that together because one of us would kind of like start elevating with growth and it was always witnessed by the other person. It's like we always had a witness to each other and our journey and really it it has helped our marriage immensely. Um, I think that now we have like a better understanding of exactly what marriage does mean to us. And to us, marriage, our idea of marriage was sacred union. And so being able to work through some of this past stuff and then, moving into the future, being able to really communicate with one another and, you know, go through all the portals together. Wow, it's just, and being able to just be present with some of the things that we would pull away from and, um, you know, I just I would recommend any couple if you've done the healing work, if you've done therapy, if you and you're just still in this space and um you just know that you can go deeper. It's like I would encourage any couple to take this course together. It just opens up a whole new world for you to explore one another. And then also, like I said before, explore yourself and then the world out there, It's like, wow, like the way that we see people and the way that we see the world now, we have a better understanding and um really that's some of our life path is to create a better world. And when we do these things together, it's kind of, it's that manifestation. We kind of put that out there and we're doing it. So I would say that this is great for people to like do together, healing partnerships are really powerful, especially when there's a lot of intention behind it. And so that's what I think I would say. So.
Yeah. 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 Doing so much healing work, releasing all these old patterns, old conditioning, the shoulds, right? Like what we should do in marriage, right? Versus like what is real and what is happening right now between us. And like having courage to actually say the truth without being afraid to hurt each other's feelings, like most people. And they do hurt each other's feelings, right? So
Yeah.
a place where actually safe to address these things and be having facilitated experiences within the program. Well, you guys were lucky to receive so many private sessions as well. It was like really like, prototype of this school, of the program, the foundation of everything. And then transition to sacred union, something maybe that you envisioned, that marriage you wanted to have, instead of like falling into like whatever, like on default, whatever culture
Yeah.
provides and whatever usually happens, right, energetically. So yeah, I remember your progression, your evolution during this time. And it is miraculous also to hold space for that. It was totally co-created. So, Kris, what's your insight about this piece? Healing partnership, sacred union, entering the program together as a couple versus just separately.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm definitely glad we did this together. I could only imagine like if I did that, how difficult that may have been for her.
Mhm.
Like, oh, this is what I learned. Now let me try and catch you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because we kind of run into space where we kind of step back a little bit and kind of coach each other a little bit sometimes.
Mhm.
But I can only imagine how much more difficult that would be if we weren't going through the process at the same time. And that was a game changer, absolutely.
Mhm.
I mean, no matter how many times we fell on our faces, I mean, but that's part of the process is like you got to experience this stuff because you can only take somebody to depths that you've been to,
Mhm.
you know. But the sacred union part, it's just wild. we definitely had some interactions and things previously because we were trying to bind since day one. Um, we got married on 888, and then we on our 15th anniversary did a completely different operation. We did a hand fasting ceremony, and it was in the middle of nowhere. And our sons and our president that was part of the organization and the lady that owned the land, they were the only ones there. And and then there we had oath rings, and those are taken pretty seriously. But and there's a couple other ways we binded that I won't get into, but so there's always been this magnet, and exactly what it is, I don't know if I need to understand all of it, but I do know that when we pass people, people get curious. And it's always been that way. And I feel like this just, I don't know, expanded that. Um, but it was really cool to understand to our capacity at the moment what that meant. Um, to just go through this and holy shit, that's actually what we've been looking for. We were looking for something that could articulate what we were experiencing
Mhm.
and wanting to experience. And it was just a great way to go, get in your body, wake up, be present, like um I feel like that work just pushes us together, even when sometimes it can be difficult. And I think that's the test is can you go there when things aren't comfortable,
Mhm.
you know? 'Cause
Mhm.
if you can't go there when things are uncomfortable, like really, how intimate are you? How deep are you gonna go? Instead of avoiding things, you have the tools and the ability and the courage and the support to bring things up when it needs to be dealt with. Um, and she's said this a few times, and she's dead on the money, is that a lot of people would like die to have what we do.
Mhm.
And she's right. And every time there's a disagreement and we come together when we're finished, every time, yeah, she's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's my experience with that.
yeah, I hear you. It's like this question, like, what is real? Like, it's so simple. Like, this is what we usually replace the question, like, how are you? Like, what's going on?
Right.
Habitual kind of like cultural pleasantry question, which usually people don't really answer honestly, and nobody expects you to answer honestly.
They
That's
don't want you to answer honestly because that
like,
means they got to take the time to be with it.
right. It's like when people ask you how are you, and they don't really expect to hear. They usually want you to hear say like, "Oh, I'm good," or like, "I'm great," or I'm like, "I'm okay." At least I'm okay. So
Yeah.
in Tantra, we replace that because that's not functional question. That's not doesn't build authenticity, depth, and connection. In Tantra, we say intimacy is about truth. So we train ourselves and each other. And this is where permission giving, right? We give ourselves permission, especially when being in the program, being held, being having access to facilitated space where you can say, hey, I don't know how to do that. Like we can move through this hot piece and we reveal the truth, but now it's like falling apart, right? It's like, okay, it's falling apart because we're not trained. Once we're trained, we can, you know, reconnect on the level of the roots and deepen our intimacy, right? So this question, what is real, helps us to really address the truth without any kind of edited or expression or tell them what they want to hear. Don't shake, don't rock the boat kind of situation. Let's sweep under the rug. It's too uncomfortable. Like I haven't processed it myself, so I can't even share that because I feel so embarrassed, ashamed, uncomfortable, right? Conversations about sex, conversations about money, conversations about like deep personal things that triggers us to our core. Like that's what we provide tools for, and that's this question really addresses the depth of this uh, relational experience, right? So like I witnessed you two going to really uncomfortable places, having conversations that you probably wouldn't dare to have before, or maybe you wouldn't even be able to articulate that.
Yeah.
So by going deeper, we start to become aware, like what it means for what is real for me. It's like when the people start, like they're just like, I don't know what is real for me. It's like it even takes time to understand ourselves, right? And I was like, well, let's start with simple things like how does my body feel? Where do I feel tension? Like what emotion is connected to that tension? Where have I felt it before? When was the first time I felt it? It's like so we're like really unraveling all the traumatic experiences we had through our life and ancestral conditioning to really understand where does it come from? Why can't I even admit it to myself, to be honest with myself. So, yeah, maybe you can give a little bit more, uh, like share a little bit more about like the healing part, like healing partnership, even like when you were already married for so long, and like the power of this question and the permission to be really honest, like truth and growth, right? The agreement of truth and growth. Uh, what value does it have for you too?
Hmm. Uh, it, it's that's interesting space to me because it's like being able to just speak truth um in a moment of, hey, we got some catching up to do or something like that. Um Going through this experience, I can hear things that I previously wouldn't have been able to hear. Like some things can be rough around the edges, some things can be sharp, but if that's what's real, then that's what needs to be heard, you know? And by that I don't mean like cutting down or anything like that. It's just, hey, this is my perception of things right now. What part of this is real and what part of this is me saying things because I'm feeling a certain way. And even that, and even holding space for that and honoring that, that's a trip. Because just some of the spaces we've been, oh man, I couldn't imagine my parents having some of these conversations. Like, whoa. If my mom understood what we were having conversations about, people do that.
Right, that's true. It was like unheard of, like unbelievable. Like, why we don't talk about that?
Mm-hmm. You have any more?
No, I'm complete.
Um, so the healing partnership and truth and growth, is that right?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, yeah, that was really interesting being in being married for so long and like of course we always wanted to have space like a healing partnership, and when you're in a healing partnership, you have a contract of transparency, and then also it's like telling the truth, and you're not trying to like cut someone, um but you're just letting them know what they see, and be able to have this open-hearted conversation about what's kind of taken place, whether you're experiencing something or some other person is ex or your partner's experiencing something for you. So, yeah, it was really interesting, especially at first, just you even in the healing partnership, it's, you can really witness yourself and your partner and the patterns that are generational, like you spoke of, or that are inherited because of whatever, or you've given them to yourself, because you're so scared to say something or to speak your truth. Um, so that was really interesting to be able to witness all those things kind of operating um I like how they had been operating, and then to, like you talked about, just to really start unwinding some of those things. And um, I do think that the the healing partnership and a marriage, especially when you have been together for so long, and if you have done any type of like healing work, even if it is just like working out together, therapy, I do think that being in a healing partnership with your actual partner, um, is a really good way to continue to deepen your relationship. I don't think that it's for the faint of heart. I think that you have to remember consistently that you're just holding space for that person, and to not judge them on what comes up for them, and to really just allow them to have their process, and also allowing yourself to be a witness to yourself too and how you react in those spaces. So it really just such a beautiful practice, and definitely blessed to be able to have, my husband is my healing partner, but
Right, I
I've
get you.
but I also have like other healing partners too, I mean, me and Lacey that was in the program, I had mentioned here a while ago to Kris. I was just like, me and Lisa been in a healing partnership. We didn't even know it. So, and it's just really beautiful because I think that ultimately your relationships, especially the really close ones that you have, they all kind of become your
Hmm.
healing partner. So, even if those relationships, for whatever reason come to an end, I do think that everyone serves a purpose in being a healing partner for you. So it was really beautiful experience. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, can I add a little something about that?
Sure.
Um, I feel like the um, group, essentially, we were all in ways healing partners. Um, and what I really do like about this group setting is how you can build other relationships. And she mentioned Lacey. What I really enjoyed with her was we were mirrors for each
Hmm.
other. And but at the same time, we were polar.
Hmm.
And to see reflection back in a different light was very healing. And this space that was created there was comical. The experiences that I had with her, I, I don't even see like a good friend of mine being able to go through that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
This is too weird. I'm out of here. You know what I mean?
Yes, there definitely was like a lot of laughter and humor and like not taking everything serious in terms of
Right.
your ego, your inflation. And it's like, okay, we're all in this together and we're all learning. And the beautiful thing that we're also not giving in to something that doesn't feel completely aligned or true, right? This is the piece of healing partnership and agreement, like giving and receiving from the heart. If something is off, we don't usually people like the compromise, right? Like that's
Right.
what I want to mention that because it's like usually the compromise, the more dominant partner kind of forces more submissive partner or more part the partner who like just like wants peace Like, I just want to choose peace and like, let's just be done with this. Rather than like, no, we actually need to unravel and dismantle this conflict to the place where we actually meet each other authentically without any resentment. Because every time you give in, you build up a little bit of resentment, a little bit of resentment, like 10%, 20%. Like, so uh, we want to arrive to the place where it's like, it's a full year, full body yes, right? Now it's a very popular thing people say. It's like, so what is the full body yes about this? I talk about more meaningful things, not about who I'm gonna throw trash today. Experience, but it's like, that's fine.
This is a no.
Unless something that is deeper there, right? Like, is there some pattern? So we're not giving in on something that has meaning to us and wired into our values, our beliefs, our integrity. We don't give in to just please our partner, and the partner who is more dominant or like better with like making it their way, also given a mirror about that. He or she given a mirror about that, because it's not about winning the battle. Why are you like fighting? Like, this is what happens with couples so much. I was like, okay, is it more important for you to win this battle and this argument, or is it important to build the foundation where you actually meet each other? And to meet each other, sometimes it takes more time to sit with it and understand, so like, why do I have this resentment? Why do I have resistance? Why do I still feel not connected, cannot meet this person? Why is this little things so important for me? Why this position is important for me? So Tantra, like in our school, we have the tools to arrive to this ultimate place where like the boundaries, not the boundaries, the limitations, the walls of separation dissolve, and we can meet each other, like the principle of non-duality, right? So that's what I also hear from your joining. Like, I was like, okay, no, but this is the feminine side and masculine side, and we need to meet as a complementary polarities rather than like force it to some things. Like, let's just like end it and like have a good time again. And another question I would like to ask is about embodiment. So this is like so central about tantric practice, and what is the value for you to have your own tantric practice, embodiment practice, being able to always come back to the body, always connect with each other in the flow states, like when we connect in the tantric space, we usually in the expanded states, we usually in the flow states, and how you bring each other in that space and yourselves, what value it has for you, because it's very central, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like ritual enhances that. Taking the time to have intention with it and being present. Um, I did struggle with that one a little bit, especially in the beginning. I think that was my biggest hurdle. It was like knowing the things, feeling the things, expressing what I'm feeling. Great. But integrating it is more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And what I have been shown is repetition kind of handles that. Um, and then self-talk too, like how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself. Um, if you're talking a certain way about yourself, or you feel a certain way about yourself that doesn't reflect how you want to be, then you just have a anchor that you're throwing behind you. Um, but when stepping into that space of embodiment, that feels really good. That feels really good to look at something that you've been through that maybe would have been the most difficult part of your life or something somebody else couldn't imagine? Because, like, what's hard for me may be easy for someone else, and vice versa, you know. But being able to go through that stuff and then upon repetition look back and wow, just acknowledging that I help I feel helps with embodiment, the ritual of it, the repetition, the daily practice. And but what I would say to anybody that struggles with daily practice, like as I did, you got to commit to it. You have to. So
Yeah.
that's my bit on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, the devotion piece, right? Are we devoted to it? We're fully in, right?
Mhm.
What's your experience, Lisa, with embodiment and being in the coming back to the body, right? Doing the practice, which the practice is very simple, right? Like it's not
Yeah.
things like, oh my God, we're gonna share some secret practice that you've never done. It's like it's the body, right? But it's like it's how we approach it. It's shifting the lens of how we experience it and what it means for us and how central it becomes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you just you just don't ever know how disembodied you actually are and try until you try to do embodiment practices. That's what I realized with myself. I have always um, been fairly embodied. I did a lot of karate growing up as a kid, and then in my later years, well, I guess like I was like mid-20s when right after me and him got married. I got into like belly dancing, although I did not take any official like course on belly dancing. I always um was able to, I was watching YouTube and stuff like that. But anyway, so I was always, kind of in a way embodied, but I did notice there was a period of time where I was losing touch of my body. Like I remember, I've cut hair for 13 years and I dropped something on the ground and I went to go bend over and pick it up and I thought, oh, that was my hip. That was not good, and I just remember just feeling more and more stiff and it was almost the more disembodied that I became because I even stopped dancing at that point. I stopped dancing, I stopped singing, I stopped doing all the things that I really absolutely love to do. And I just noticed my body was becoming more and more stiff and I had like such a hard time like moving it. And with these, like you mentioned, like really basic like embodiment practices just to like bring yourself back, it has made a whole world of difference. For one, I've started dancing again and I don't sing. I do sing, but not as much as I used to.
You
Um,
should.
but what I did notice was that it was easier for me to fill my yes and no the more I became more embodied. It was also easier to receive my intuition, the messages that your intuition gives you. I'm able to clearly name it now. I'm not guessing like, oh, was that my intuition? Oh, maybe it wasn't, it's like I'm gaslighting myself. I don't do that anymore because of, the time and the effort that I've put into my embodiment practices. Like I know when it comes through. There's never a question, I know myself in that way. And then also, especially being married, like who wouldn't want your whole body to come back online? Like, hello. That's why we're here is to live this glorious human experience. And I feel like a lot of people, men and women alike, we're just so numb and we don't give ourselves enough touch, enough love. We don't find new ways to discover ourselves in a more intimate setting by yourself or with our partner. And so I think that there's times where we end up checking out in those really intimate spaces. And it did allow us to come together so that we could be more embodied in that space and know when we're, drifting off or when things are, and it's so, we learned it's okay to stop and pause and come back to center and then, and then start over again. So it's really just been this beautiful opening of an exploration of my own body and thank goodness for that because man, I can't believe I wasted so much time not being in this body. Oh my gosh. So I'm so happy I've arrived. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I love it so much. Yeah, and like people like wonder, it's like, can they learn the full body orgasm? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just like during the lovemaking, it's about being fully activated like during the day and like feeling like all your senses are online, not numbed out because we're so much in our heads, right? Thinking about something that it might not never happen. It's like
Yeah.
worst case scenario, like what's gonna anxiety? Like why anxiety is so it's like pandemic of anxiety because people think what's going to happen, what's bad things going to happen. It's like not even being when we think about that and we go in our head, our body gets stiff, our breath becomes shallow, we feel disconnected from present, we don't see the beauty of this moment and nature and what is happening of our partner. Like people can't even be present when they're making love because they spend so much time thinking, analyzing.
Yeah.
Right. So what Tantra brings us back to the body, all the energy goes from the head to the body. And it's ongoing process, right? It's not like here we go, secret practice like full body orgasms.
I mean, that'd be fun, but it doesn't happen that way.
Right. So it's like, okay, let's spend 3 months building it up. After this 3 months, you can experience full body orgasm if you're fully devoted to building up your practice, right?
Right.
It doesn't take too much time. You don't need to spend like 10 years in the cave.
Yeah.
But at least 3 months, they say we need to rewire our nervous system, and sexuality is a part of it, right? To activate all our senses and be really aware. Oh, wow, that is intense sensation in my body.
Yeah.
And being able to direct energy in a way like, okay, what we want to experience, or what we want to feel, sense, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And it obviously benefits intimacy as well, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
How your intimate life changed since you started to practice this?
Wow. Uh,
Dramatically.
I mean, for me, we never really had a problem being
No,
physical. Never,
no.
never. That was never a problem in our relationship. Despite everything we were going through, we were always really good about being physical. But the change, however, now that was really cool. Um, there were some things that going through Tantra, some of the things we were actually already doing. We had no
Mhm.
idea,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but we definitely got an upgrade. I don't think we ever had a hard time looking each other in the eyes, but I feel like that ch- was upgraded. Like there was just trying to get to the other side of the window in there to see the soul and make that connection that you know if you can have sex with your partner and never look them in the eye while you're doing that, that's maybe you need to rethink that a little bit because that's the most intimate part of your life, uh, physically. And for me, it felt like capturing the moment, like I'm recording something in my mind. Um, and it as powerful as that physical connection was, it wasn't even necessarily just about that, even though that's what we were doing. Um, it for me was a way to reflect gratitude that I'm even in this space, and how lucky am I that I've I found the one person that I could be in this space with, because I didn't have very many serious relationships before her, but um, I couldn't imagine any of this with another person, especially not anybody that I was a part of previously. But just the idea of being able to be present and then slowing down, like so,
Yes, learning
whoa,
is a big
whoa,
thing.
slowing down, man, that's a whole other galaxy.
Mhm.
Um, but what I do think is cool with even playing with that and exploring with that and finding all kinds of new feelings and sensations and awareness and different things like that. One of the things that I felt was really cool about that was it never had to be the same. It was like a different experience almost every time. And,
Mm.
you know,
That's a goal there because most couples develop this pattern and then it
right.
becomes so boring. Like you know what's gonna happen.
Right. Well, I mean, we both have a couple of things that are like, okay, typically this is in there, but that's usually, I don't know, how how do I want to say this? Um, I think we've got like one or two tools that we always keep in our tool bag, but it is a different experience, and we never know where it's gonna go. Sometimes it's not slow because that's just what the moment calls for.
Mhm. It's the energy, right? It's the
Right,
Mhm.
right, and
third force is like moving through your field, right?
right.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think I'm wrapped up on that.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
that was an amazing upgrade.
yes, yes, I remember we sharing during the sessions. I'm curious also about the flow states or like in expanded states because you are mystics. You practice Norse. You have Norse practice. You combine it with Tantra and what I remember witnessing, like not in physical space, but like you sharing, like you did have beautiful mystical experiences during lovemaking, during connecting on an intimate level. So maybe Lisa, you can share this a little bit more.
Yeah.
The mystic.
Yeah, like it's really awesome to be able to be in or create a ritual space around intimacy. We didn't really know exactly what we were doing at the time.
I
But
don't
we
think it
just
mattered.
yeah, but we just kind of created a ritual and we just kind of opened up this ritual space like you would with any other kind of like ceremony, you know. And then within that ritual, it's like little by little we realized that every single touch was actually a prayer. And, it's like one of us was the temple and the other was the altar. And to really connect these two energies and those moments, like, I mean, we've seen into other lifetimes, it's that's what we believe is we believe in past lives. And we were able to see into these past lives and experience one another in those places, but then also open up what is meant for us for the future too, and really heal in these some of these dynamics of tantra. Like, wow. Um, I cannot believe how much trauma I was able to heal in those intimate moments. It was
Good call.
there was a lot of really intense moments where I had no idea that this was even going to happen. And it was just like this full clearing, energetic clearing. And, it's like all of a sudden my partner is this, medicine man, shaman, mystic king who's coming to, just, send me into a whole other universe, and it was so beautiful and so great. And we especially in those altered states of consciousness, like, we'll do sometimes some of the tantric activations and stuff, or we'll just like breathe really heavy to with one another. And it just kind of escalates from there. But in those expanded states, like, holy crap, like I didn't even know that that stuff was like even possible,
Mhm.
and oftentimes in those spaces, I don't think a lot of people realize, but it is from what I've heard, it does release some DMT when you're getting into those spaces. So it does kind of really become like a psychedelic experience,
Mhm.
and it is so powerful a lot of the time.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, we've had plenty of mystical experiences in that space, and that's
Mm,
where we like to
mm,
go. We definitely almost every single Saturday night, and it doesn't. A lot of the times, recently, the spaces that we go, we'll reserve Saturday nights for these moments, hoping for it to go in this space. But sometimes it's just been more of like relating and more connecting with our
mm,
words and our energy.
mm.
And before we know it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, we're like, holy crap, we can't believe it. We've been up for 24 hours. We need to go to bed.
Right.
But like, I mean, that's like another expanded state of consciousness, that we get to share. And we definitely we don't take our intimacy lightly. We reserve that time for one another, and we definitely make time to come back,
Mm.
uh like I said, at least once a week to check in, to talk shop, or to clean shop, or to,
Mm.
do maintenance on shop, whatever it is.
Right.
So
Or to admire shop.
yeah, or to my
That happens. I can actually, oh, I'm sorry.
no, you're good.
You're good.
You're good.
The mystic thing, what was really cool for me was since the day I met Lisa, she has like just always, I've just been hypnotized, right? And that kind of got a little dangerous with the whole pedestal thing. But um that actually ended up working out because then now I'm starting to see her as a priestess, and it's like
Mm,
it's not just all the the glamour and everything that goes with it. It's also the honesty and the rawness and the come to me as you are,
mhm,
Mhm.
you know, and to go into that lens and play is powerful,
mhm,
show up as who you are right now. What
Mhm.
are you thinking in your head right now? Show up and play as that part of you right now.
mhm,
And I think that's one of the reasons why some of our experiences don't really um, repeat.
mhm,
Mhm. Yeah.
Sometimes there's like even an unspoken role play sometimes.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah,
very cool.
so beautiful. Like you're such a role model for like mystic partnership and sacred union in many ways, and devotion to prioritize sacred intimacy, not to skip it, not to say I'm tired, I'm gonna do this instead, we're gonna fix something, like because there are so many challenges, having a family, taking care of the family, and go
Mhm,
to work and provide and just living in the modern world the way it is. So that is huge, and that is a very important part of the program of tantric lifestyle, to prioritize intimacy and never skip it, never like ignore it, like, oh, that's the last thing in the in the row, not
yeah.
make it like obligation, right? So that is very central. And another piece I wanted to enhance, like kind of in highlight what Lisa was saying about having that healing experience, like sexual healing, basically what they talk about, sex magic, sexual healing, when your partner becomes your healer and you take turns healing each other, because you can't really do this with therapists. It's like, and then
No.
we rewire our nervous system and we replace traumatic experiences with healthy and loving experiences. And if we have sexual trauma, let's say emotional trauma, relational trauma with someone, we have to experience something to replace those traumatic experiences with something good. That's the best way to heal. So just talking about it with therapists and doing something on your own, even embodied, it's not enough. And that's kind of the foundation of healing partnerships. Like, okay, we need another person to fully go in to the core of this relational trauma or any kind of traumatic sexual trauma, and like replace it with something amazing, something beautiful, something loving. And that really stays, that anchors inside of us. And that's the real transformation. That's, I feel like, missing link in the modern therapy. It's like, okay, obviously we can't have that.
Yeah.
Why we need to train together with our partners,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was gonna say too. It's like it really does make a difference in your relationship when I know for me and him, like I couldn't imagine like trying to teach him all this stuff and then it's like him not knowing or maybe he's confused and then like maybe I'm in the middle of a process and like it's like
Oh, shit.
I'm almost there, I'm almost gonna release it, whatever, and then it's like and then it maybe let's say that there's something that comes up for him and he gets scared and it's like you're not knowing how to hold that space and I that's why I really appreciated doing the program with him, it's um it really is truly healing and it's so so valuable, to be able to experience that in this relationship. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, such a powerful foundation, right? Well, thank you so much for this conversation. I would like to have another one about like helping others heal, because you also certified intimacy coaches, you are certified tantra facilitators and the umbrella of our school. And I would like to hear more about your work with clients, your work with groups, your specific approach. Everyone has their unique angle, unique lens, unique container that you co-create together, and you work with people also separately as well. So I'd like to have another conversation, but I'm really grateful for this one. This was so insightful. I hope it will be so eye-opening for people to really understand what is a missing link out there for like ultimate healing, especially when it comes to being in partnership, relational intelligence piece and relational healing. Like what do we need to heal here so we can actually create a better world together? Because this is where it starts. It starts with our intimate relationships. So thank you so much, and
Thank
I'll
you.
talk to you next time.